we're going to factor this binomial. We see it's a difference of squares. So we're going to factor that. And because we have division here, we can also write this as multiplying by the reciprocal. So we'll flip it and multiply them. We can do those two things. So we'll flip this and multiply them. And factoring the bottom, this is a difference of squares. Remember a difference of squares? If you don't, you can have a look at some of the other videos on difference of squares. Here we have 2x plus 5 times 2x minus 5. So you can see what the restrictions are. I'll just combine them, multiplying the top and the bottom. Tops multiply. This is just multiplication, so we're just multiplying the top times the top and the bottom times the bottom. That's pretty easy for most people. When we do this, we try to common factor. So on the test, it's best to common factor anything that we can out of the top and the bottom. What can we common factor out of the bottom? We can factor a 3 out of this bracket out in front, and when we common factor a 3 out of the second parentheses, that'll be actually times 3 again. So we're factoring 2 3's out. So that's going to give us 3 times 3 out in front, or 9. So I'm just going to write everything else. That changes these to 1, x squared. And we have 3 times 3 out in front, or 9. Okay, so let's state the restrictions now. So we'll have 4 different restrictions. So the first one, we have x can't equal negative 5 over 2. Next one, x can't equal positive 5 over 2. Then x can't equal 0, and x can't equal negative 1. So are we done?
Yeah.
No, there's one more restriction. So be careful, because most people would think that we're finished and move on to the next test question, but we're not done. So we're missing one. Where are we missing one from? Well, remember, anytime we ever have anything in the denominator, we have to state the restrictions. So was there anything that was once in the denominator that was removed? This. We need to state a restriction for this. Even though it gets reciprocated or flipped up to the top, when it was in the bottom, it could not be 0 there. We have to state a restriction for this as well. And so that would be 1 over 7.